Bago matanggap ang isang kadete sa isang kumpanya, whether it may be international or domestic, kailangan munang sumailalim sa maiging proseso, and that includes interview. Hi! If you're a maritime student and you're trying to figure out what are the frequently asked questions during a maritime interview, this video is for you. Of course, the content is focusing on the personal questions rather than the technical ones. I will give you insights on how I answer those frequently asked questions, but quick disclaimer. This is how I deliver myself during an interview, and there's a ton of ways on how you can do it. What works for me might not work for you, but either way, I'll be able to help, so let's start. The first question is, can you tell me about yourself? In this kind of question, you have to organize your thoughts about your personal information, such as your name, your age, where you live, and what school are you from, and what course do you have. And you can also add a little bit spice to that, but not to the point that you are telling everything. You're like telling all the information about you, because the interviewer is not really interested about the lesser details about you. They are just concerned on the overview of who you are. And this is how I do it. I am Joyseas, 21 years old, and I live in San Francisco, Agusan del Sur. I am the youngest of the family. I completed my academic requirements in St. Joseph Institute of Technology, Maritime Education and Training, with a course of Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation. During my college years, I became a college officer, 2 years of being the Maritime Treasurer, and on my senior year, I became the Maritime Governor. But I was also a member of the Balangay Sailing Club, and at the same time, I became the head of the documentation team of our exclusive publication named Layag. It was really tough and challenging, but I am here in front of you to prove that regardless of the gender, whether it may be a man or a woman, we can be remarkable in this industry. The second question is, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? Seriously, why is an interviewer interested in knowing your strengths and weaknesses? Of course, they want to know what can you contribute to their company, right? So when talking about strength, you have to state the strengths that will be beneficial to your profession. And on the other hand, about your weaknesses, you really want to say something that is true to you, a true weakness of yours that will never affect your profession. Like for example, you are about to venture into filmmaking. You don't really want to say that you are worse in collaboration. And other example is, if you are venturing into accountancy, you don't really want to say that you're bad at math, right? So you have to tell a weakness that isn't really related in the maritime industry. And this is how I do it. Being a student and at the same time an officer during my college years had helped me identify and get to know more of my strengths and weaknesses. My strengths, I believe, will help me absorb in this profession, and that is, first is that I am able to lead and manage a group. Second is that I am capable of adapting to a new environment. Third is that I am focused to whatever task is given. And fourth, I take initiative, and of course I listen to other people's opinions. And fifth is that I am competitive. My weakness also includes me being perfectionist. Yes, that is true. I really like to do tasks perfectly, and honestly, when the expectations aren't being met, I usually do self-reflection right after. The third question is, what are your goals? In this kind of question, you really have to be passionate in what you are saying, not to be dramatic, but try to talk in accordance to what your heart says. The one thing that you have been wanting to do is your goal, And that is something that you have to talk briefly and say you have plans for it and how you will be able to attain to it. Personally, this is going to be my answer. Ever since I was accepted as a cadet, my main goal has always been to be a remarkable female officer in this company. How will I do that? Of course, it is by embodying its core values in every aspect of my words and action. Aside from that, I also want myself to be a contribution to the 2% of the female population working in this industry. Lastly, I really want to be of help to my mother because she has always been working hard to be of where I am now. The fourth question is, what is your edge among all other cadets? In this kind of question, you are going to flaunt yourself, but in a positive way. I suggest that you give points that won't discriminate the other applicants because seriously, you don't really know them, right? So stay true to yourself by not trying to make yourself look good and make the others bad. Remember, in this kind of question, you have to stay true. The fifth question is, why did you choose seafaring? In this kind of question, the interviewer wants to know if you are really committed into venturing this kind of profession, if you are really interested in seafaring. You don't really want to say back then when you were first year that it is because of peer pressure, right? Or like if it is because of the money, that's why you chose this kind of profession, because that is really common and that is not interesting at all. You really want to say a reason that comes from your heart and your mind, and this is how I do it on my own. I chose seafaring to be different. It's a profession that will enable me to go beyond of what I'm capable of doing. It's basically a job that will help me become useful in society and specifically in maritime industry. I know it's going to be difficult for me since this profession is male dominated, but I believe with the skills that I have acquired and still learning, I can be a competitive officer of the ship someday. I guess that's pretty much it for the 5 frequently asked questions during a maritime interview. I hope that I have helped you in the slightest way that I can, and you know, I'm really not a pro in terms of interviews. I'm actually having challenges as well with regards to it, but I'm also finding ways in how I can deliver confidently and honestly during an interview. If you want to know more about the frequently asked questions that are not mentioned in this video, you can actually type your questions in the comment section and let's see if we can make it possible, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Joy She Knows. Thank you so much.
Wait! I'm a really loud person and this is a PS. Mahabol ng salita. If you want to follow me, charot, in my... if you want to follow me on my accounts, you can just by clicking my real name, Joyce Indico. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, that's my pamangkin who just mentioned his lola. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can, but if you don't, you still can. I'm not really forcing you to do that, but yeah, hey, bye. Thank you so much for watching.